Hey everybody, I know that I have been a little bit not kind of on track with my daily episodes, although in my defense, my friends say I'm too hard on myself and I've not really had a voice and I've been in a lot of back pain. I'm going through quite a whirlwind of emotions. I think it mostly has to do with my health. I was really sick, and when I was sick, it was inflaming my back, and then I kinda had the last of my sinus infection and was experiencing pain where I've been getting dental surgery and actually intense paranoia, which I was luckily able to identify. So, anyway, I had a conversation with a friend today, one of my new male friends, which is nice, and he advanced an idea which I have heard many times before, but I thought it would be interesting to linger with it for a while, and he wasn't, pretentious about pretending he came up with it, but it's just this idea that, like, for him, there was something he was really struggling with earlier in his life, and when he accepted that it might never happen, it opened a pathway for it to happen. So, the idea of accepting I might never meet someone, like, first of all, I just really don't like it when people say, "When you stop wanting him, he'll come." Because for me, that's just a total paradox, canceling out statement. You can't, like, fake that till you make it. Like, stop caring because you care. No. Um, it's a total paradox. Like, I can't explain it logically, but I know there's some neurological benefit, and certainly I would be at greater ease if I was okay with never meeting someone. I mean, it's a bit tricky for me because what I tend to do is pour myself into work. Um, all that energy. Yikes. But I don't know, maybe I'm at a different level of maturity now where I could actually move into that space and be okay with it. And then I'll start filling my life in other ways for the things that I think I might be missing. Yeah. So the other thing that's hard for me around accepting it might never happen is that I was raised in childhood with this idea that whatever you set your mind to, you can achieve. And I was a really stellar student, and I just wouldn't accept no for an answer, no excuses. I just have developed incredible grit in confronting obstacles and getting through them and never saying that's impossible. Impossible is like a bad word. So I'm not comfortable with giving up. So I asked ChatGPT to do an overview of accepting. And like I'm also gonna say it feels like a paradox. How do I give up on something when I'm motivated to give up so I can get it? It's hard for me, for my brain to fake that, even though giving up feels like it would be really nice. Okay, so he was also talking about capacity and how basically kind of reading books on a topic and developing strategy is not how we come to things. It's by changing our capacity. And I do, now that I've talked to so many matchmakers about their strategy, I do feel like it's about shifting my inner capacity. Okay. So when your brain stops treating finding someone as a life or death outcome, it spends less time in threat mode and more time in approach connection mode. That shift changes your attention, your behavior, your nonverbal signals, and how much social learning you can actually do. So your odds of meeting someone go up. By the way, I'm using the ChatGPT Pro 200 a month edition. So usually the research is pretty evidence-based. I've been really training it to not invent shit. Okay, number one, I must meet someone recruits your threat circuitry. If a part of you believes if I don't meet someone, I'm doomed, I'll be alone forever, something is wrong with me, your brain tags the whole topic as high stakes. Neurologically, high stakes uncertainty tends to activate the amygdala. How do you pronounce amygdala? Plus salience network. detecting threat or importance, stress physiology via the HPA axis, cortisol. Isn't neuroscience so fascinating? I just really want to study more of it. And sympathetic arousal, adrenaline-ish effects. One thing I'm thinking about is like, what is the difference between accepting I might never meet someone and giving up? Anterior cingulate insula, the social pain alarm feeling when you anticipate rejection or exclusion. That's familiar to me. What that does in real life, your attention narrows, your brain becomes less curious and more scanning for danger. Oh my gosh, it's almost like making me nervous just reading this, but I have been very much in fight or flight mode lately. Yeah, I woke up with a panic attack yesterday. Okay. Don't worry, I'm fine. These things happen, but I know that I have this wonderful inner peace beneath it all. Okay, you become more self-monitoring. How am I coming across? You interpret ambiguity negatively. A neutral look becomes they're not interested. That is so true. You lean towards safety behaviors to reduce anxiety. What is a safety behavior? Okay, I'm convinced. Common safety behaviors that feel helpful but reduce connection usually. Holding back and seeming closed off. That's me. Over-explaining, trying too hard to be liked. Also me. Forcing conversation towards do they like me cues. Oh my God. I'm so that. Pre-rejecting, withdrawing first to avoid being rejected. Me. Seeking reassurance or escalating too fast and uncertainty. Yeah, like, I'm like, okay, they don't interested, I'm done. These aren't character flaws, they're what a threat-activated brain does. Wow. Amazing. Okay, so number 2, acceptance reduces threat activation and frees up your social brain. When you accept, I might never meet someone, not liking it, just allowing it as a possibility, you're telling the prediction system, this is painful, but it's not an emergency I must solve right now. That matters because the brain is constantly trying to control uncertainty. If it decides something's an emergency, it prioritizes protection over connection. Really interesting. I'm having some challenges with money right now also. Whoa. And I think that some of my focus on this podcast has gotten away of me like actually being aware of my financial circumstance. Okay. I also realized I kind of interpreted my friends encouraging me to focus on my dating life. And then, I don't know, I see how even when I'm like not focusing on it at all, it's like a frozen mode. Acceptance tends to increase the influence of prefrontal regulation, parts of the prefrontal cortex involved in emotional regulation and cognitive flexibility, which can downshift this beautiful word, amygdala. Oh my God. Threaten responding. What that frees up, working memory and cognitive flexibility. You can think, joke, improvise, respond naturally, social cognition, mentalizing. You can actually track other person's vibe, not just your performance. Reward approach circuitry. You can feel curiosity and enjoyment, which supports approach behavior. The simple way to do it. Threat mode, protect yourself, reduce uncertainty, avoid pain. Approach mode, explore, connect, learn, take small risks. I just spaced out. I was very vulnerable with a male friend today. And that was kind of unusual. And it worked out really well. Like, he didn't respond the way that my female friends responded, but he like showed up and he wasn't intimidated by it, which was a great experience. Approach, explore, connect, learn, take small risks. Nice. Less threat equals better nonverbal safety signals. People feel it. Humans automatically read one another's micro signals. Wow, I'm getting so much love from my friends these days. Like, they're giving me feedback and then they're observing how I immediately feel criticized and like stopping me from going into that and saying they're validating me. It's so sweet. Humans, when you're in threat mode, your body often sends, I'm not safe, this is urgent signals. Tight jaw face, flatter or strained voice, fast speech, awkward timing. I actually literally lost my voice. Closed posture, fidgeting, mine is the nervous laugh, inconsistent eye contact, either too little or staring to check. That is so me. When you accept the outcome, uncertainty, your physiology often shifts towards parasympathetic dominance, more rest and connect, slower breath, less tension, smoother vocal tone. Why this helps you meet someone. People tend to approach and open up more around someone who feels regulated. Your warmth becomes easier to perceive because it isn't competing with nervous urgency. This is not confident. This is not be confident. It's your nervous system signaling no emergency here. Acceptance reduces rumination, which reduces self-focus interference. A huge blocker to connection is excessive self-focus. What should I say next? Did that land? Do they like me? Am I failing? Oh my God. These are questions that circle and circle and circle around my brain when I'm... Oh, that's often driven by the default mode. I often feel like I'm in a performance on a date. That's often driven by the default mode network, rumination, self... All right, we need to get to what to do about this. I'm convinced. Okay, oh my God. All right, this is long, but we're going to read the whole thing. That's often driven by default mode network, rumination, self-referential processing, which gets louder under stress. Acceptance interrupts the loop by allowing the feeling without turning it into a problem to solve in the moment. Result, your attention goes outward. You listen better, you ask better questions, you notice genuine points of connection, you can be playful. Play requires nervous system safety. Acceptance makes you more willing to take small social risks that create meeting opportunities. Meeting someone is basically a numbers plus exposure plus learning process. Saying hi, joining activities, tolerating awkwardness, handling mild rejection. That's something I could use support with. Try again. Threat mode makes your brain treat these as dangerous and therefore avoidable. Acceptance changes the cost-benefit calculation. Rejection still stings, but it's not evidence of catastrophe. Awkwardness becomes survivable. Uncertainty becomes tolerable. Yeah, with all these, like, trying to find the perfect system. I would have let go years ago, but I just didn't know how. That means you do more of the behaviors that statistically create meeting someone events. Staying longer at gatherings, initiating more conversations, following up without over-investing, being honest earlier, which filters and attracts better matches. Yeah, I think I could do that. I guess, even I feel like on this podcast, I'm like presenting this image, like trying to get makeup on before I do the show. And today I just feel kind of pretty without makeup. And yeah, that's a good feeling. Or just like not caring so much. Like, oh my God, what if someone sees my eyebrows haven't been waxed? Okay. Very concretely, acceptance increases the frequency and quality of your social attempts. I actually do want to make a manicure and nails, my manicure and my brow appointments. I'm gonna message my friend. Let's see if she has any availability. Sorry, we're just taking a little break from hi honey. Anytime for a mani pedi. Tomorrow. Mani pedi and eyebrow wax tomorrow, or what day is today? Wednesday. Or Thursday. Um, Thursday before 11 or after 5. Oh, wait. Tomorrow is Thursday. Okay. Because tomorrow is our option. Sorry, that was a bit of a distraction. I just felt like doing that when I was kind of easing, like, okay, it's not a big deal. I could get that. I could not. All right. I can be loved with a few extra eyebrow hairs. Okay, where were we? Accepting makes you more willing to take mild risks. Okay, very concretely, accepting increases the frequency and quality of your social attempts. So maybe quality is where I can lean in. Okay, scenario, you walk into a party. These are concrete minute by minute examples. If you're not accepting, thought, I need something to happen tonight. Brain reads high stakes, uncertainty, threat mode. Body, tension, faster heart rate, narrowed attention, behavior. You scan for best prospect. You hesitate. You feel watched. You try to perform. Others sense the tension, urgency, fewer easy openings. You leave discouraged. Brain learn social equals danger. But the thing is, I feel scared. Like, if I don't focus on this, I'm not going to grow. So, blah. Okay, if you're accepting, it's possible I never meet someone and I can still build a meaningful life. Brain reads lower stakes, less threat activation. Body, more ease, smoother voice, more natural timing. The weird thing though is like if something is important to me, I put work into it. So how do you, if it's important to you, if it's not important, I don't put focus on it. So where does that take us? Well, oh my God, I feel like I'm going to throw up all of a sudden. Okay, others feel relaxed. You leave with some positive encouragement. It just always feels either or for me. Like I can feel a glimmer of this relaxation. I just don't know how to get there. Oh my God. Okay. A practical way to apply this so it's not just theory. Acceptance sentence. Maybe I'll meet someone, maybe I won't. I can handle either. This like doesn't sound like me at all. Names the feeling. This is loneliness, anxiety showing up that reduces limbic escalation. Pick a process goal. I'm going to have 2 genuine conversations. All right, that's not my problem. I can talk to anybody. Okay. And then I said, this feels like a paradox. How do I give up on something when I'm motivated to give up so I can get it? It's hard for my brain to fake that. Even though giving up feels like it would be really nice, it does feel like it would be so nice. Yes, this is a real paradox. And your brain isn't being dumb or fake. That's what you're noticing is basically this. Okay, I'm just going to skip a bunch of this. Acceptance is, I care, I'm scared, I might not get this, and I'm willing to feel that. Try this wording. I really want a partner. I'm not giving up. I'm giving up the belief that my life can't be okay until that happens. Yeah, I kind of already feel that. Okay, this is not helpful. Wanting fear. Okay, I'm just gonna skip everything they said. Is too long. Can you give me something in 1 to 2 sentences that is practical? Okay, let's see what they say. I'm just kind of skimming this to see. So, like, I'm allowed to want this. I'm not going to treat it like a life or death emergency, but I don't feel like I am treating it like a life or death emergency. I think what I'm treating like a life or death emergency is people rejecting me. Like, the idea or that I would say to someone, I think you're attractive, or ask someone out on a date feels life or death. So, I definitely think I can get to the point where I don't treat that like life or death anymore. I'm allowed. I can build a life that contains love in many forms. No catastrophizing timelines. Okay, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I can kind of get around this. I'm just not sure what they say about the 1 to 2 sentences. It's taking kind of a long time. I'm going to go to instant. Hmm. Don't try to give up the desire. Just say, I really want this, and my life can still be okay if it doesn't happen. Then take one small social action. Oh, I just have so many social actions. I feel like saying hello to people who I find attractive is a good first step. All right, lovers. That's where my head's at. I'd really love to hear your thoughts on anything that you really wanted that you found a way to give up on and how you deal with that paradox in your life. It would be really interesting. I love you. And I also, if any of my friends are watching this, I just so appreciate all the help you've given me through this roller coaster of a week. I feel so grateful, and you know who you are. I feel like I've had this whole community emerge to support me recently. And part of the reason it rose up, I think, was because of me shifting to like finding community from finding a life partner. And that kind of makes me nervous. Like, what if something so amazing as what's happening now doesn't show up because I'm not so pursuing a partner so hard? But on the other hand, I know I've needed community for a while. And so I think that that's more part of like, okay, I have this longing for the partner. What am I really longing for? And trusting myself to long for what I want. Yeah. I mean, with community, I just knew I would find it, right? So, yeah. And I had trusted.